So here's our agenda for today. We're going to review the cutting edge AI features that have been delivered this year with real world successes with our head of product, Anya. We'll give you an exclusive look at the upcoming features that will redefine the proposal writing industry next year with our head of product again. And we'll discuss emerging trends and innovations, including trustworthy AI, our predictions for hot AI topics coming next year, and our predicted changes for what the proposal manager will look like in the coming year with our head of engineering, Mike. Along the way, we hope to share some interesting research data and insights into how it all might impact you. Amazing. Let's kick off with a rapid timeline. This year, the world of proposal writing has evolved at an unprecedented pace. And for decades since the advent of Microsoft Office, proposal writing largely followed the same process, with innovation progressing quite slowly as the industry caught up to the new technical standards. Gradually, the role of proposal writers have become more dynamic and expansive with the introduction of new tools such as task management platforms. And these advancements have helped this group to accomplish much more with much more efficiency. After 2020, many bid writers have started adopting AI. However, the invention and usage of AI in proposal writing has become a double-edged sword as it's raised expectations on proposal writers significantly. Not all AI is created for proposal writing and management, and many actually suffer using generic AI chatbots, citing security, accuracy, and irrelevance as major issues. AutogenAI's tailor-made solution is here to help. Our clients have reported remarkable results this year, including 70% increases to drafting speeds, 85% boosts in productivity, and 30% increases to win rates. These aren't just numbers, they represent a revolution in how proposals are written, reviewed, and won. Before we dive in, let's look at some recent research statistics from a survey of 137 proposal managers across the globe with varying degrees of experience. 77% of proposal managers submit at least one proposal a month, and 62% of those proposal managers are handling two or more. Yet despite this effort, the average win rate sits at just 42%, and 71% of respondents say complexity has increased over the last 3 years, which explains why proposals are taking a significant amount of time. On average, teams spend about 88.5 hours or about just over 2 weeks of full-time work per proposal. And this includes 25 hours just to understand and extract requirements and over 41 hours to draft the proposal. And that also includes nearly 22 hours checking and reviewing it. Unsurprisingly, 75% of proposal managers struggle to complete proposals on time, highlighting the immense pressure most of these teams have. Clearly, there's a need for smarter tools to streamline processes and save time and drive better outcomes. And with that in mind, let's reflect on how AutogenAI has addressed these challenges this year for our clients. Now I'm going to hand the mic over to our head of product, Anya.
Thanks, Judith, and hey everyone. So this year we've focused on empowering bid teams with tools that simplify, streamline, and supercharge your end-to-end bid workflow. We focused on introducing collaborative features that support your current bid process. Whether you follow a strict Shipley process or you have your own augmented version, AutogenAI improves every single aspect of the bid writing and management process from qualify to submit. We work with bid experts from around the world every day, representing a range of segments and industries. This means we understand the space better than anyone else and have translated our insights into our development of a highly customizable, scalable platform that helps organizations win more business. So I'm really excited to talk you through our standout features of this year. First up, qualification. So according to our research, 40% of proposal and capture teams report that extracting key requirements is the biggest pain point when trying to make a go, no-go decision. We have streamlined your qualification process to under 10 minutes with our extraction tool. This helps teams make smarter, more data-driven decisions to support critical gates. Our AI-powered extraction tool and analysis tool gives you three options. You can upload multiple documents, paste information in, and use information from your synced SharePoint library. In this example, I have pre-selected documents from my SharePoint, and I have selected critical bid decision information from my predefined extractions. This extracts practical information from bid specification that helps inform go, no-go decisions. You can copy this information to add to your qualification packs to share with key decision makers. We also offer a range of other predefined extractions, including custom keyword extraction. This gives you flexibility to extract based on your own keywords. And as you can see, I've inputted accessibility, and this presents me with all references to accessibility in my proposal documents. Next, we have Shred. Shred is our powerful tool that can be used to build the first draft of your compliance matrix to pull out key compliance and requirements. We don't just allow Shred we don't just shred shall, wills, and musts. We offer a completely customized approach where you can input your own Shred terms, which can be saved for others in your organization to use. When complete, this is available in a downloadable, shareable Excel document that is also can be used for your proposal creation. Next, pre-qualification. So let's talk about the most tedious part of your bid qualification process, filling out the pre-qualification questionnaire. Many proposals require a detailed questionnaire before you're even allowed to submit a bid. These questionnaires are often repetitive and time-consuming, taking nearly 2 days to almost over a month, depending on the complexity of the questionnaire. By leveraging our AI, you can automatically populate these questionnaires with the most up-to-date information from your corpus of knowledge. Instead of filling out each question manually, we completely automate the form completion. You can see I have a range of questions I've imported. I select autofill. The autofill will interrogate my corpus of knowledge and look for exact, near exact, and semantically similar entries. We can give you a signal of how close the match is to the answer. You can also check the source, and in this case, it's sourced from my answer bank. The answer bank is where you can store all your gold and model answers within our tool. It's a configurable database that holds your best-in-class, repeatable information. Our early adopters have told us that this function has already helped them speed up their entire process by 10x. According to our research, 50% of proposal managers state that managing tight deadlines while maintaining quality is the biggest pain point, with 53% of proposal managers stating that there is major friction collaborating between internal and external stakeholders. I'm going to show you how we make that easier. So following a go decision from the capture team, now it's time to start your proposal. You can see all the information contained within your proposal homepage, everything from client details, key contact, critical dates, and much more. This is all pulled from Salesforce, and we also support other CRMs. In addition to this, with your proposal space, our collaborative proposal information is also available. Things like compliance, past information, research, win themes, hot buttons, and much more are all contained in this space. I'm now going to go to my resource library. The library is where you can select key documents and extract key requirements with one click. This is accessible to everyone in your proposal team. You can see the location and the requirement type directly from the original document. I can also manually add requirements. In this example, I can select the requirement type, whether it be L, M, or C. This is customizable, so if you don't use this type of breakdown because of regional or industry differences, that's no problem. We can configure this for you. Next, I'm going to generate my proposal outline, or the structure to my response based on these requirements or questions that I've extracted. This is all auto-generated with sections of my response. I can move these sections around and reorder. Again, this is highly customizable. At any point, you can manually intervene. This is where proposal managers can ensure everything is on track. You can change the status. You can also see who owns the piece of work. You can change dates. You can also add milestones and subsections to areas of your response. We also have storyboarding capability. This allows me to pull key information from my generated requirements list, add win themes, notes, and attachments, and any other context for the bid writer or subject matter expert writing the response. We understand storyboarding differs between organizations, the different types of proposals, the different scale of proposals. So storyboards can also be configured to meet your proposal team's needs. According to our survey, 50% of proposal managers spend more than half their time creating original ideas to make their proposals stand out. This is where our storyboarding feature comes in. At one click of a button, you can generate a compliant, strategic, business-aligned response. It incorporates all creativity and strategic inputs that you've come up with earlier in the process. From here, you can leverage a range of proposal-specific actions to finesse and improve. This includes the ability to add more evidence from your library and other sources, as you can see in this example. You can also do things like cut words to meet page limits or word limits without losing any semantic meaning. And this is a completely collaborative editor. You can have multiple writers and reviewer contribute at the same time. On average, 22 hours of proposal manager's time is spent checking that proposals meet all requirements. Now we can do that for you with our Gamma review. Our Gamma review is the world's first contextualized review. Get your proposals instantly reviewed and scored for relevancy, accuracy, and compliance. Gamma review provides you with all relevant suggestions to ensure that you can reach an exceptional, compliant, well-written bid before passing it over to stakeholders for your final colour reviews within our collaborative editor. In addition to this, we also have versioning control. At any point of the process, you can bring back older versions of what you've been working on. Nothing ever gets lost in our platform, and you can always restore any previous version. 78% of proposal managers manually check proposal requirements and manually apply branding before submitting a proposal. Now with our platform, you don't need to worry about that. You can download to a PowerPoint, Word, or branded template effortlessly with our export feature. And you export your whole brand into your branded outputs. And that's a short summary of our 2024 feature set. Each of these advancements have served to increase productivity and win rate across all of our clients.
Sorry, experienced a little bit of delay here. By listening to our customers, tailoring our product pipeline, and engineering resources towards solving their biggest pain points, we've driven some incredible results this year. With over 100,000 hours of prompt engineering, we've helped clients increase win rates by an average of 30%, bringing many teams over that 50% win rate mark. This year, we've helped decrease drafting time for our clients by 70% and on average, reduce cost of writing by 50%. So how have we improved the lives of our customers? For proposal writers, we've effectively given everybody a secretary to help take on these painful tasks that are an unavoidable part of any proposal writing process, and giving them an opportunity to do the more exciting bits and grow their careers. Some of our users have reported that they've been able to take on more strategic roles in their organizations, take on more management-centered roles, and demonstrate that they have delivered much more ROI to the organization. But that's not over. Now let's look ahead at 2025. We're not just riding the AI wave, we're steering it. Our upcoming features are designed to give you an even greater edge in crafting winning proposals while making the end-to-end process smoother. I'm going to pass it back to Anya to talk through some exciting items that come in 2025.
Thank you, Judith. First up, we have got a very exciting feature, our capture process. We are incredibly excited to introduce this new process. This allows us to introduce business development teams to find and track new opportunities and capture critical information to make even more informed collaborative decisions on the go, no-go decision. This is completely integrated with your CRM, and in our case, in this example, we've integrated it with Salesforce. You can filter and sort opportunities as well as reject opportunities, and you can also move opportunities to your pipeline. Your pipeline allows you to track all your opportunities through your capture process. This is a completely customizable Kanban board. Next, you can run the opportunities through your capture flow, where all insights, intel, and research are tracked. At any point, you can run a P-win analysis. We also have predictive insights. Our predictive insights are generated reports based on competition, market trends, and again, this is completely customizable and auto-generated. We want to be able to give you the information to make the most informed decisions about your go, no-go decision. When a decision has been made, you then can move the opportunity into the proposal phase, and all of this information will be retained. Next, we're looking at globalization. We're expanding into more territories, making it possible to cover more accounts across the globe. Wherever you are or need to be, the capability will ensure that we are ready for you. This includes multi-language support. We'll also be looking at more personalized workflows. We understand that everyone's busy and you may have multiple proposals needing your time at any given point. We'll help you create more efficiency and productivity by providing you a highly customized workflow depending on your role, and we will provide you with all the information that you need within that specific context. Next, data insights. We're going to introduce our data insights dashboards. These are built for the complete bid teams. This is where you can get insights where you're spending most of your team's time. You can get engagement across your team, and it helps you understand resourcing requirements. It also helps you understand the usage of your information and your library, what sources are most useful, and you can always segment these by project type. You can get deeper insights into win and losses, understand what's working, what's not, and why, and you can refine your approach and improve your results. This gives you a complete view of everything that is going on in your business at a given time. You also can see how you're using AI and get more informed decisions about your use of AI. We also can provide you readability skills. And you get a full picture of all active proposals. Next up, we have our integrations. We want seamless connectivity to all of your sources of information. Whether you're using Microsoft Dynamics, Salesforce, Teams, Zapier, any other tool, we have a growing integration list, ensuring your workflow stays connected. For any options or more information, please reach out to our sales team or our customer success team, who will be happy to help. And that's it from me. I'm going to pass over to Mike to talk through some of the groundbreaking new AI projects.
As we embrace the future, staying ahead means tackling emerging challenges head on. As Anya mentioned, we'll welcome Mike, our head of engineering, to talk through some key AI trends for next year.
Thanks, Judith. Thanks, Anya. And hi, everybody. Yeah, I wanted to chat through a few topics that we think are going to shape the next year. Firstly, I want to share some thoughts on how you can build enough trust in AI systems to feel for users to feel safe using it for business critical tasks. Secondly, we'll run through 6 trends that we think are worth paying attention to over the next year. And then finally, I'll hand back to Judith to take us through how we expect a proposal writer's role to change. So our first topic is building enough trust in AI. Over the last few years, we've seen LLMs transition from a fun curiosity, then to an assistant that can help write emails, and onto a powerful tool that we expect to be able to use in many of our day-to-day workflows. At each stage, businesses and individuals place a bit more trust in the AI and nudge up the stakes a little bit higher. I expect that trend to continue. 2024 saw massive increases in the number of people and businesses using LLMs. In 2025, I think the key change will be that those users want to start using AI to help more and on more business critical tasks. So the question is, what's it going to take to make that transition feel safe and robust? And the first thing I think we need is really good data, access to really good data. One of the big limiting factors for LLMs is that out of the box, they don't know much about your business or what you're trying to work on right now or what your team's been doing recently. When you ask them to do things without this information, that's when they're most likely to hallucinate, as they're attempting to come up with a sensible answer without really having enough context to do so. A big part of the fix for this, then, is to give them access to more knowledge. If we can give them proper context on what they're trying to do, and hand the model some really high quality information, then we make the LLM's task much easier, and we see much higher success rates across the board. So finding great data is a clear goal, and every business sits on a treasure trove of data, but in practice, it's often really hard to leverage that. Sometimes the data is sitting in hard to read documents. Sometimes it's not particularly organized or structured. Sometimes it's sitting alongside out of date or untrustworthy data. So my prediction is that next year we should expect to see lots of companies focusing on how to find good data, organize it really well, and expose it efficiently and safely to AI systems. If we can get that right, that massively helps us build more powerful and more accurate responses. But even with the best data, LLMs are inherently random a little bit, and they have limitations, and they're going to hallucinate very occasionally no matter what we do. I don't see that changing hugely in 2025. So for now, at least, we're going to need to improve our tooling in order to make the transition feel safe and robust. And this is where explainable and verifiable AI comes in. So for low stakes tasks, when an LLM magically hands you an answer, that's amazing. Like, it allows you to do stuff really fast without thinking too much of it. If it looks about right and like, no, it's probably correct, then that's normally going to be good enough to move on. But as the stakes get higher at some level, that magic answer stops being worth very much unless I can really trust that it's correct. So to help with this, we're going to need to start including more explainability into our tools. So making it really clear and transparent what the AI has done, how it's reached the conclusions it's reached. We're going to need tools to become much more verifiably accurate. So this is through things like sourcing where data is coming from, having really traceable decision-making steps, building tools to cross-check what's going on. The important thing here is that the verification needs to be like seamless, fast, and robust. Like, it doesn't add anything if I have to go and do the work, all the work anyway to figure out if it's right or not. And then finally, we need outputs to be editable. So we need it to be the case that if I do find a mistake, it should be really quick and easy to correct it or nudge the AI back onto the right path. Cool. So onto the hot topics now. LLMs are still quite new to us. Both the core technology and the ecosystem around it are improving rapidly. So there's, I think, a few themes of stuff that's going to come out. Some stuff that's going to be driven by more powerful core technology, and some stuff driven by like a maturing and developing ecosystem around it. So our first topic is going to be agentic AI. This one's been around for a while, but we expect to see even more of it next year. What we're talking about here is any system that's designed to act with increased autonomy. For LLMs, that's often done by providing them with tools that can control to achieve complex or domain-specific tasks. The reason this is really powerful for us is it lets us build more flexible and more dynamic systems. So as a little example, imagine you want to write a report on the competitor landscape for an RFP. Without an agentic system, I'd have to go and grab a load of information, kind of throw it all at the LLM and hope that it makes sense of it. If I miss some information that I pass in, then there's not much I can do about it. And also, if I pass in too much information, then that's going to confuse the LLM and lead to less good results. So it's really hard to do well. With an agentic system, we can flip this on its head a bit and things become a little easier. So instead of passing in all the data we think it may or may not need, instead we can provide it with some tools, maybe one to search the web, one to search a CRM, one to search SharePoint, whatever it is. And then we let the LLM decide what tools it wants to use when. So this allows it to go and write a precise query to go find exactly the information it's looking for from the sources it cares about. If it wants to make 3 different queries to different places, that's totally fine. It can do that. If it wants to, if it doesn't get the answer it needs back from one, that's totally fine. It can go and like call another one. So for example, if it like clicks something up in your CRM, doesn't find it there, it can fall back and go and search the internet instead. So by giving our systems like a good number of high quality tools, we can make a product that's much more robust and much more flexible. It's much more able to adapt to the user's needs, fetch just the information that it needs, and even take actions in the world as well. So why do I think this is going to be big next year in particular? Agents get complex quite fast, and they require lots of context to keep track of their thought process and keep on the right path. Historically, that's been quite a big limit on what they're capable of, but we've seen real improvement over both of those things this year. So we're just getting to the point now where agents are getting dramatically more powerful, and I'm expecting to see them appear lots more. We're seeing experiments as well with multiple agents working together to solve large problems. So expect to see some bolder ideas for what we can use agentic AI for in 2025. We're also going to be looking at more specialized use cases. We've heard a lot of talk in the last few years about quite general AI use cases like ChatGPT, and those are awesome, and I totally expect them to continue to flourish. But alongside them, I think we'll see increasing cases of LLMs being used heavily in more specialized workflows, like proposals, for example. So as we talked about earlier, a massive factor in the success of LLMs for users is their need to understand a lot about the context about what you're trying to do. So I don't really want a separate AI tool for that. I want something that's embedded in what I'm doing right now and already knows what I'm up to. For me as a developer, that means I don't want to go out and use ChatGPT and explain to it what it's doing. I want it to be in my development environment, knowing what I'm writing, knowing what I'm doing. And exactly the same applies to proposal writing. I want my AI to already know what I'm bidding for. I want it to already know how this piece of writing fits in with the wider strategy. I want it to already know what requirements it's trying to write to and the style it's trying to hit. So the workflows that Anya laid out earlier that we've been developing this year and next year, they're great for humans. They had a load of useful information and structure, but they also really help us get more out of the AI. They provide a really rich context for us to pass down to the models, and that gives us much better results. And why I expect now, this is one where I think the industry is really starting to mature. As that happens, I think there'll be more and more space for sort of like specialized, deep, refined solutions sitting comfortably alongside sort of the bigger, broader, but more shallow utility tools like ChatGPT. Our third thing is explainable AI. I'll go quickly through here because we've already talked about this a little bit. The key point here is I think it's the key tool to increasing trust in our systems. And that's going to unlock a whole bunch of extra use cases, stuff that we currently feel nervous letting AI because we get too deep into. Fourth one is I think we're going to see increasing use of multimodal models. So if you cast your mind back a few years, we had lots of different models doing different things, but each one would only do one thing. So we had like ChatGPT doing text, AWS Transcribe could do like optical character recognition, Midjourney could create images and so on, but they're all doing just their one thing. Over time, the big LLMs have been gradually adding more modes to their capability. So text first, then it could also read images. More recently, we've had models that you can like speak to in like seamless voice-to-voice interactions. I think we'll continue to see that happening across 2025, and specifically the one that we're really hoping for is image generation within LLMs. If we get that would make it really fast and easy to generate branded graphics based on all the context information that we've already got, which would be a game changer for us. So by now, hopeful prediction, we've seen a bit of a trend. We think it's a realistic one to add in a few more modes. There's OpenAI doing their like 12 days of OpenAI with releasing a feature a day. So we're fingers crossed for a little Christmas present before the end of the year. The fifth one here is better accessibility. LLMs are in lots of ways like a new way of interacting with computers. This has some drawbacks. They don't always fit super neatly with some of the existing accessibility standards. But on the flip side, there's also a bunch of new options for us to solve problems that were tricky in the past. As an industry, I think we need to work hard next year to like minimize the pain points and explore those new opportunities. The thing I'm most excited for with this is that voice-to-voice software. I was super skeptical about this initially, but our R&D team did a really good spike of putting that in the product, and honestly, I really love it. It feels like magic to use and much more natural than I was expecting. I think when we pair stuff like that with strong agentic tooling, suddenly you get a solution that's a really powerful way to interact with a computer that's massively reduces the emphasis on like mouses, keyboards, and screens. So some really interesting options for us that I'm hoping that we'll explore as the industry gets more mature. And then the final thing from me is to hear lots more about ethics and regulation. AI's been moving really fast, and it's sometimes been hard for regulations and policy to keep up with. As it rolls out more broadly, that's beginning to change. So we're starting to see some standardization on best practices. We're starting to see audits and certifications starting to come out that we can talk to, and we're starting to see regulation catching up with what's going on. There's still some really big open questions here that I think we'll explore more in the next year. The ones that pop to mind straight away is cases around like intellectual property and rights in training data, and also some things around environmental impact of all this new compute in the data centers. So yeah, a lot more chat to be done, but it's important for us. It risks slowing things down slightly in the short term, but as we've talked about a couple of times here, what we're trying to do is build systems that people can put a high degree of trust in, and building this really solid foundation is critical to making that possible. So yeah, why now? Overdue a little bit in some ways, but we're starting to catch up, and I think we'll see some progress in the next year. So that's it for me. I'll hand back to Judith.
Fantastic. Super exciting stuff. I personally am very excited. All of these advancements actually lead us to believe that the nature of the product proposal manager job will change in the coming years. So as AI and automation speeds up proposal workflows, we predict that in the coming years, the core job description of a proposal manager will evolve to include number one, building and responding to RFPs twice as fast with double the accuracy. You can safely assume that what used to take 2 weeks can now happen in days, if not hours, going forward. Proposal managers will also be encouraged to focus on enhanced presentation and delivery, transforming responses into engaging, polished, and branded content that they themselves are driving strategically. And also with the help of AI tools, they'll research, analyze, become subject matter experts in less than 24 hours, and master complex topics really quickly to deliver precise and strategic messaging in the proposals. And perhaps most excitingly, I think proposal managers will spend more time finding new opportunities and managing strategic pipelines, taking a more proactive role in identifying ways to drive growth and success. 2024 has been a transformative year for AI powered proposal writing, and 2025 promises to take it to the next level. So whether it's through enhanced tools, greater efficiencies, or the ability to handle unprecedented complexity, AutogenAI is here to support your success. So before we hop off, please drop any questions you might have in the chat, and we'll do our best to answer them. If they've not been answered already, if they don't get answered, we will follow up with answers. And if you enjoyed this session, please follow us on LinkedIn or sign up to our newsletter to hear more about upcoming events. I'm just going to pause really quickly and see if there are any questions coming in that haven't been answered yet. There's a question about whether or not the progress board will be viewable as a Kanban. That is part of something we are exploring. A question on, can your product assist with filling the deluge of forms that generally come with proposal and writing? We can support with that with the question and answer functionality that Anya displayed earlier. And we can also pull information directly from your Knowledge Hub. Amazing. I think that is all that we have time for. So thank you for joining today's webinar, and hope everybody has